Good morning and welcome to Vibrant Morning this Friday. It is another Friday and we thank God we are here in BTV, famous program Vibrant Morning, to bring you what is in the newspaper. That is, these days we give across the headline. We give headline across all the newspapers that are in Kenya. Please remember to keep tuned to BTV. Remember to keep tuned to the Vibrant Morning. I'm your host, Gagi Isaiah. Remember, you can follow us on YouTube, BTV Kenya. Please remember to subscribe. Remember to follow. Remember to like. Remember to view and leave a comment. You can also follow us on Facebook page, Blackman TV. There you can also leave a comment, like and follow our Facebook page. Remember, your comments are so valid and they help us to know where we are reaching you from. At the same time, they help us to know how to improve the services that we bring to you. Now this morning you can still follow us also on TikTok and Instagram, BTV Kenya. Remember, BTV, your home live TV, brings you what is happening or what had happened across the Republic of Kenya. Remember to keep tuned. Now this morning I'm with my co-host Lennox Odede. Lennox, good morning. How are you?
I'm good.
Lennox says it's good.
I'm doing good. I've woken up good. I'm well. I don't know. I lack adjectives to describe. Adjectives are used to describe noun.
Yes.
So I like. What do I like to describe how I'm feeling? Feeling is a verb.
Feeling is a verb.
So what do you use to describe a verb?
Adjective.
Adjective.
Yes.
So what do you use to describe a noun?
A verb is a doing word.
Yes.
A verbs, remember how you use the verbs, because you have different types of verbs.
Kama Kiswahili, kielezi hutumika kueleza mengi zaidi kuhusiana na kitenzi. Alafu tuko na inaitwaje? Tuko na kivumishi.
Kivumishi ndicho kiashiria.
Hutumika kueleza mengi zaidi kuhusiana na inaitwaje? Nomino. Nomino ni jina. Yeah.
Bado naweza kuweka maneno kama hayo. Sasa unaona, tukija kwa Kiswahili, mimi husema mara mingi ya kwamba Kiswahili ni kama Kijaluo. Wale ambao wanazungumza Swahili ni kama Kijaluo. Nomino, jina, lakini ukifika katika hali ya kueleza zaidi unatumia kiashiria.
Yes.
Kumbe bado nakumbuka mambo ya kale sana. But anyway, it's also the same. Language is just the same.
Yeah, language is the same.
But you realize that when you use nouns are the names of things.
People, places.
Yes. So
things.
it is verbs that are doing words. Verbs are action words.
Yeah.
Like for example, let's use the word Otieno is a noun, a name of somebody. So what Otieno does is described by the verb. Otieno
is
speaking. So the word speaking is a verb. But the word is a helping verb. You get
I thought
that?
it is a conjunction.
Conjunction are joining words such as and, but, therefore. Those are called conjunctions. But when it comes
do you think the conjunction came from the word junction?
maybe. So that's the difference. So in English, when you bring now adjectives, now adjectives, they, to my little understanding, they may describe a noun or they may describe the verbs. But remember, we also have the adverbs, which also describes the verb. Tells more about the verb. He tied it loose. So the word loose is a verb. So you can say it was tied loosely. So
To make it.
so that is English. But thank you so much for reminding me.
Yeah, thank you so much for taking me to English class. You've reminded me of my high school teacher, Madam Nyauchi. She was very beautiful, but we nicknamed her Sexy Horror.
How could you name a teacher that? Surely.
And when she learned that we nicknamed her that, that day she came to class very furious.
Very furious.
The first time she learned that we named her that, she came to class but anyway, she is still the best English teacher to ever teach me. Yeah.
Who had ever taught you?
Oh, to ever
Taught you.
Oh, to ever taught me.
Yes. If you have to use the word teach, then I would advise, maybe you've heard me speaking many of the time saying, he did run. So you use the word
did teach me. Yes, good.
Yes, so that is okay. But again, I think we also need to learn a bit of sign language every morning we come here. I'll be giving lessons just one at a time. Now, if you want to learn about sign language, begin with me today, this moment. This means A. This means letter A. So I'll be giving what I know about the sign language. So this is A. So today we have learned about letter A in sign language. Did you know that?
Letter
A. This is letter A. This is A. A.
This is Dole.
Yes. No, this is A. Good. This is A.
This
letter
is Dole.
A.
Okay, this is letter A.
A.
Good.
Yeah, this is letter A. So on Monday we'll learn about B, C, D, and all the rest. Now, getting back to what we are having in the daily newspapers of the day in the Republic of Kenya, allow me to take this time before we dive into that, give Lennox Odede at least to brief us of what has been happening across the Republic of Kenya and a bit of what is happening in Migori, or what we anticipate in Migori.
Yes, today, the chief officer in charge of finance in the Migori County government lost his mother. And today is the final journey of the mother. And I think we will be there as the BTV family to bring you everything, because we expect dignitaries to be present in that particular burial ceremony. So that is the only thing that is happening in the county. And again, in Rongo sub-county, we had a group of youths who were demanding the Data Protection Commission to show them how their data is being protected. Because most of the time when you go to these offices, you leave your information at the gate, your phone number and the ID. You find that maybe you go to a workshop, a seminar, you leave your data there, your phone number and ID. So they were claiming that these people who do calls people, they are not people from the committee, as people always say it. But they say that these are people who are known to people, because there's no way you will find that someone is texting you that dear tenant, the management of the house changed the mode of payment for the rent, and from now onward use the following pay bill number. The old one is no longer in use. So they were claiming that they have lost a lot of money. They have lost. Some of them have been humiliated, and I think you've seen how those people who make calls, when they realize that about their shoddy deals, or rather you know that this guy is going to con me, and then you tell him, Mimi, I can't be conned, then you know what they do.
Yeah, the next thing is abuse.
They throw insults and abuse at you, and such like things. There are things that are really are not human enough. They are inhuman, because when someone abuses you, yet you don't know this particular person. When someone takes your money, when someone tells you go to M-Pesa, do this, do this, do this. It is very, very dangerous. And in fact, Isaiah, there's a time one day, I think I was coming from our office uko juu KNA. Then suddenly then the Katwaro tippers were still at the just opposite this mosque. How do we call it? Along the Ombo Junction.
Is this Jamia?
Let me call it Jamia. So they were still operating opposite that particular mosque. So someone, a fraudster, called a boy, just a young man. You know how desperate someone. You know, when people are working here in town, you don't know what someone is thinking about. Mtu ameacha familia, ameacha nyumbani ni mbaya. So this guy received a call. Have you received some amount of money? I've sent it. Nimeituma kwa makosa nini. So the guy got convinced, because most of the time when you look at the messages, they begin with
M-Pesa,
that code, then confirmed,
M-Pesa.
then of that. So, but most of the time they are being sent by an individual.
Yes.
So if you're not keen enough, you will be confused that you've received some good amount of money. And then most of the time you will find that your balance is locked. So if you're not keen enough, then they will manipulate you. So this guy was manipulated, akaambiwa aende kwa M-Pesa to pay agent nini fanya hivi na hivi. So that M-Pesa agent realized that this guy wants to take her money. Akapiga kelele, mwizi. So the guy was literally beaten. So tulipofika pale tulipata akipigwa. So we just told you, because they knew us. We were a group of 5 or 4 journalists. So they knew us. So when they saw us, they just decided to tell us what has happened. So then we just told them, no, stop beating him. He's just a victim of manipulation. So we interrogated the guy. Then he told us he received a call from someone telling her, giving him instructions how to go to M-Pesa. Then we just told them, we also told them how ni watu wa kamiti walikuwa wanatumia huyu jamaa, acheni kumpiga aende. But you can imagine the guy already amepokea beatings, kichapo. So why not for us intervening? Maybe angekufa. Yeah. So such like things, we really want the youth really wants the commission to sensitize Kenyans to assure Kenyans that any data they're living in a particular place is safe and is not leaked out.
Yeah, again, when it comes to data protection, mambo kama hayo, like jinsi umesema hapo nyuma, nakumbuka mara mingi mimi hupata ujumbe mfupi kwenye simu inaniambia ya kwamba ninastahili kulipa kodi yangu ya nyumba. Na nakumbuka nilihama kutoka Nairobi mwaka wa 2020. Hadi sasa hivi sijai rudi Nairobi. Wakati huo nilikuwa nalipa kodi, lakini tangu nikuja hapa Migori silipi nyumba. Silipi makazi pangu pale ambapo nakaa. Lakini niliposoma ujumbe huo nikasema hao ni wale ambao ni watapeli. Wanataka kunitapeli pesa ambapo napata kidogo. Sasa niliamua tu kutowasikiza na kuendelea mbele na kile ambacho naendelea. Sasa mambo kama hayo yapo. Na mimi sio tu kwa sababu ya Data Protection Act also, but getting into this, this thing need to be looked carefully. Right now, I don't know where they've learned. I've done most of the research that I do. We call them dummy research. When you do the dummy research, you'll realize that if something happens to you and you want to find out more, like their job advertisements. People advertise jobs. And they say, your CV. Send your CV and send your documentations online. You know, right now in our country, people are looking for jobs. Like if I advertise that, just doing a small poster, an NGO looking for such and such, people to work as this and this, and I put 3 departments, and I put there some reasonable amount that can serve as their salaries, and I say send your information and details on this email address. Let me tell you, people will flock there. Many people send their document and the information, and being that it is not verified, It is not verified whether this is a real job. You don't know where this has come. You have sent your informations. Maybe these are some of the channels that they use. That's why if you get to the newspapers, you realize that there are some advertisements that you are told are
fake.
You know, they don't tell you fake, but the newspaper companies don't own it. Say that is not part, like somebody, you can decide to advertise anything. They want, what the newspapers want is money. They don't care about much of what happens after. So they always give warning that be very careful. So that's in as much as we're looking at, we want to crucify the government on issues with data protection. We also need to be very careful. The Kenyan government need to come up with a mechanism. Number one, how can we protect the young people? How can we protect our citizens from the manipulation? People are being manipulated every day.
Yeah, like
every day.
Like so sometimes back towards the end of last year, I saw an advert, Postal Kenya. They were looking for individuals to work across the 47 counties in all their offices. And so, you know, I did apply, and after application I got an email that my application was successful. And what I'm required to do is to send a copy of my certificates for verification. And for verification, I need to pay a sum of 2,999 shillings for verification. And then, if in any case my verification will not be successful,
then they will refund you.
Then they will have to refund me my money. So, you know, I read the email and then I was like, if someone wants to give you job, it is his mandate to tell you, come for an interview for such a date. You go, you carry your documents, they go, and then they verify. And if in case they tell you that come with verified documents, then you go to a lawyer or an advocate who verifies that the documents are true and original copies of your certificates. So, you know, and you know, being a journalist, you know, you have to know 1 or 2, 3 people. So I contacted one of the people who was appointed as the chairman, or rather the directors of Postal Kenya. So, and then I called him, then told him, did you happen to advertise any job towards the end of last year? Then he was like, I don't think so, we did not. Then I told him, can you kindly confirm? Or let me, then I forwarded him the email. Then he told me, this is a fraud. So I was imagining how many Kenyans maybe who are unable to verify that, how many of them were conned.
Yeah, so you realize this, in as much as we want to put the government to task, it is also upon us to know, but again, we also need to push the government to find a mechanism of how to protect and do things in a straightforward. The same thing happened to you during the same period. I also received, I saw an advert. It was about World Health Organization, and they advertised for a job, and I did the application and all those, and just for verification they needed 2,500 for verification. I know the way they communicate in such a professional
way.
So
just to manipulate you. Yeah.
So when I learned that it comes to a point whereby they need money, I stopped communication. So even after I'd stopped communication, I kept on receiving mails. You are not responding. You are not responding. Are you really serious? You need this job. So I just ignored. So I don't know what the government is going to do, but when it comes to data protection, it is quite challenging, because again, you learn that today, those who steal from you are not far away from you. They just close by.
Walisema kikulacho.
kinguoni mwako. So you see, for example, for example, in Migori, I've had so many people who have been scammed with this company known as Suka, in the name of Sukari Industries. Like I met a lady, actually, she had to pay 3,000 and something. Somebody just called, like, "Hi Lennox, how are you? You are good, I'm fine. Hey, I'm your friend." But it does not start that I'm your friend. "Lennox, how are you?" If somebody calls you by name, "Lennox, how are you?" "I'm fine." "Hey, I'm also fine." Bwana umepotea, aba siku hizi kazi na kupelekaje? How is uandishi wa habari?
Yeah.
Inakupelekaje? Iko tu poa. Hata mimi niko poa, ijapokuwa kuna mambo mingi. Unajua Lennox, you'll become curious. Who is this person there? Tells you, can you remind me? If somebody talks to you politely, you also become polite and ask, "Can you remind me of you?" And it's like, "Oh, Lennox, you've forgotten. See, remember those days at Kenya? I used to work with you, and so and so. Do you remember so and so?"
Yeah.
So immediately somebody touched on, "Lennox, you can't remember me? I used to work at Kenya. You used to come to office with Gagia Isaiah." You see, the very moment the person touches on Gagia Isaiah, he has
even if
built
you don't
confidence.
recall him,
Yes, even if you don't recall
silent.
him, it is okay. Can you remember so and so? Oh, now I remember. Okay, unajua sasa kuna there's an opening somewhere, and you became the first person that I wanted to. Since I had known you for some time, I wanted to refer you. There is this job. Actually, what they normally say is that there is this job with this Sukari Industries, and I wanted you to take the job. But even if you can't take the job, I know you have a relative who may be interested in the job. Refer the person. So because you may be having something to do, you say, "Okay, since this person has talked to you politely and he knows you so well, you'll give the number." And when you give the number, you say, "Oh, Nani, Isaiah, there's this friend of mine. He just called. There's a job vacancy somewhere. I don't see whether I'm going to do this job, but I think you can take the job. Take the number and call." What you will say, "I'm given your number by Lennox already." "Oh, I called Lennox." "Okay, so the person will walk you through the process. At the end of the day, you learn that your money is gone. So I don't know the mechanism that the government is going to use.
Yeah, they really need to come up and ensure that so Kenyans are saved from this menace. Yes.
So we personally, I'm in for the government to find out protecting the data of its citizen because of the fraud that is going on. You talked about in Migori there is a burial of a mother to Minister for Finance.
Chief Officer
Finance.
Yeah.
Okay.
Chora.
You have not given the directive. Maybe there's some people want to go.
What I know it is in Nyatike, but I don't know where it is. I know it is in Nyatike.
So we are moving to Nyatike
but
from
I guess
here.
it is in Gotkachola ward.
Oh, so we are moving from here to Gotkachola.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Lennox. I hope that is only what happened in Migori, because the others we looked at the previous days. Now we are getting into what is in the newspapers of the day. We have different newspapers and we just want to bring to you what is in those newspapers, the headlines of the newspapers. Now, beginning with the Standard. This is what's happening in the Standard. Langat cornered. That is the headline of the Standard newspaper. Langat cornered. You can grab your copy and read much of that story, but let me give you a brief of what is in the story. Deputy Inspector General Eliud Langat has finally faced the Independent Policing Oversight Authority IPOA over the death of a teacher and a blogger, Albert Ojwang, nearly 2 weeks after public outrage erupted, once flagged by top brass and IPOA bosses in a controversial show of unity. Langat now finds himself on a defensive, grilled for hours as Questions thrill over his role in the illegal arrest and brutal killing. Without the information and crown that gave him legitimacy, Langat looked subdued, just like what Ojwang may have felt in the hands of officers he commanded. Now we see the Deputy Inspector General Langat has been on the spotlight for some time.
I'm wondering who is this Langat? People are accusing him of being the mastermind behind Ojwang's death. He is still walking free, yet someone who was just enjoying life with the
no, he's not walking free. He has stepped. Actually, he's in the cell.
No,
Langat is in the police cell, or not? So,
are you sure he's in the police custody?
He relinquished his position for some time to allow the investigation.
He stepped aside.
He stepped aside.
But has he been arrested?
Been in court. He has been in court. He was taken to court, if I remember so well. So, this is what has been happening. That is in regards to the story of the late Ojwang.
Yeah.
And the story of the late Ojwang really sparked a lot. Sparked a lot. Beginning like with the IG being in the center stage, DCI involved, the police involved, and we also see to some extent it almost cost the Interior CS Cabinet Secretary Kipchumba Murkomen his job. Remember, Murkomen was under fire by the legislatures, from the legislatures, and the story behind this is really, but I really don't know. I think when you talked about the Data Protection Act, what the young guys were talking about in Rongo is in reference to what happened to Ojwang, because it is believed that he got the information from Safaricom. That's what they keep on saying, that they wrote to Safaricom, that gave them the details, and
it is alleged that
it
is the Safaricom which gave out whereabouts of Ojwang, because with your phone they are able to know where you are. That's why
able to locate you.
They are able to locate you. That's why even if you want to transact, you can't tell someone who is in Nyatike to deposit you money directly. It won't happen, because
but you see what's
they
happening.
are able to see you are in Migori. But when you move from here to Nyatike, then it is possible to do that.
But again, you see, when it comes to tracking, we have so many tracking devices. Like the phones that we use has tracking devices. One is the email. You can be traced with an email. Like for example, if you want to track your phone easily, always leave your Google Maps on. Don't switch it off. So even if somebody steals your phone, you'll be able to trace and track the person through that. So we see this story is sparking a lot of reactions, and we see Langat is now in a hot soup. We believe the justice will take its course and things will turn to normalcy. And looking on to Daily Nation, the June 25th plans. There's a demonstration that is coming on June 25th as the Gen Zs commemorate the killings that happened June last year when they demonstrated, they entered the parliament. Now the plan is underway. You can check there. And also on the same paper we see, this is what I'll do if you elect me in 2027. You can see Maraga there. Maraga seems to be out, wants to take the top job.
But
please have your comment. It's coming. And let us move also to Taifa Leo, county za anasa. Now Taifa Leo, they now tell us the counties that spend so much on transport in the first 9 months in the office. These counties have spent over 1 billion Kenya shillings on travels. You can check there. That story is in Taifa Leo. Unaweza kuangalia pale na ukaweza kusoma zaidi. Na pia as we still move on we have the Star newspaper. The Star talks about impunity war. Top cop feel the heat. Now top cops now are feeling the heat of what happened as a result of death of Ojuang. You can also take your copy and read. Let me move to the Nairobians. Today we happen to get the Nairobians.
The Nairobian.
Yes, the Nairobian. Obado's fall from grace. Corrupt former governor to lose 428 million shillings properties. I don't know what Lennox will say about this.
Yeah. The EACC is in the process of recovering the assets that are in Nairobi, Kisumu, Migori, and according to what the EACC said is that the recovered money or the recovered assets will be taken back to the National Treasury, and it will be used in assisting the vulnerable in the community. The money will be used in assisting the vulnerable in the community. So we just hope to see an action being taken.
But again, it comes sad to see our former governor going through all this that's happening. Sorry. And we believe things will change. We believe he'll be able to regain his foot and be able to move forward with strength. That is in the Nairobian. You can go to your vendor, buy the Nairobian and read more extensively. And also on Business Daily, MPs hand gamblers big tax cut. Now you talked about the gambling.
Yeah,
and when it comes to gambling, there's a lot that has been happening when it comes to gambling. Like there's so many ways of gambling. We have the betting, where we have Vieta and all that, and we know Vieta has really cost lives. Gambling has really cost lives for the young and for the aged. But now the MPs are handing big cut on tax, meaning they're not going to pay much as they were paying for the taxation of the gamblers. That story is there. Now, before we get into the newspaper, that is the People's Daily newspaper, which the headline is broad-based woes. Broad-based woes. Like most uneasy alliances, Ruto-Raila deal too has been quietly rocked by internal discord. This comes as a statement. Remember the one that the ODM Secretary General spit out some few days ago, and we hope we hope to see what's going to happen next. Whether the broad-based government is going to fall apart or
in politics, expect anything, but don't be optimistic that you believe this will happen. In politics, just expect anything. Yes, just anything to happen.
Okay.
Yeah. Because there is no permanent enemy, there is no permanent friend in politics.
No, but we hope that we'll see the day. As days goes by, we'll see what really happened, what is transpiring, and what is the next way for the broad-based government. Now, looking at this, on the same cover page of the People's Daily newspaper, you see two policemen in court